And to illustrate just how tight we're talking, yeah, I haven't got that right, have I? Bollocks. Don't say it. Do not say it. I know I said that. Round spherical objects. Good job Sam's not here. In all the years I've been making this show, people have been sending me countless requests to review their favourite class of engine. Start that again. Oh, shut up. Oh, that's right, I haven't got my watch on. On February the 1st, 1946, Henry George Ivert became Chief Mechanical Engineer of the LMS, and one of his principal tasks was to come up with bollocks. Sorry. And despite being apparently not very popular with 4 or 5 years on, it still never finishes. And now it finishes. Shut up. On April the 6th, 1898, number 252 derailed at speed near Tavistock. Now the Board of Inquiry... The inspiration for these engines came from the Churchwood Small Prairies, which dated back to 1904. But these engines had a few modern refinements. You see, the Ivert tanks weighed 2 1/4 tons heavier than the Churchwood engines. Churchwood, not Churchwood, Churchward, Churchwood, bollocks. In all the years I've been producing this show, people have been sending me countless requests for me to review their favourite class of engine. And it's interesting. Lots of people have said to me, how on earth can you review with... Now, the original design was called the... You see, the Churchwood Prairies were 2 1/4 tons... Yeah, they weren't 2 1/4. Dougal Drummond is perhaps the most... And one of the areas where they saved on steel was in frame stretchers. Now, that basically means instead of having cross sections across the chassis to keep with... Start again. Which means that their axle loading was 2 1/4 tons lighter than... I've completely messed that up. Bollocks. Yeah. I'm getting my numbers mixed up. And the thing about these bearings is because they were made with such tight tolerances and there was no white metal coating to protect them, the moment they start to get warm and there's no oil to... Oh, sorry. Do you want to cut it there a bit? These engines were built... nope. Somebody once said to me, there isn't much that 2 Iverts can't do. But then they can't pull 2,000 tons, they can't do some... When BR Steam was over and done with, Enthusiast was left... These engines were designed in Doncaster, and the majority of them were built there. But... Somebody once said to me, there isn't much that 2 Iverts can't do. But then they can't do 2,000... Because not all of them can start in the same place as the Bluebell or South Devon or Keighley, where you could nip down your local shed and choose something more historic. And I've forgotten the rest of it. Bugger. Places like the Paynton and Kingswear run have... I said and Kingswear, not to Kingswear. Thing is, it changes its name so many bloody times, it's difficult to keep up. Yeah, it's Dartmouth Steam Railway and Riverboat Company now, but in 10 years' time, or even in 10 months' time, it might be different. 10 years, 10 seconds. Now. And the LMS's biggest contribution had to be these, the 3 F060 tanks. When BR steam was over and done with, enthusiasts were left with three choices: buy and restore a scrapyard wreck, import a foreign engine that was in strategic reserve, or look around the Compared to the 5,700 panniers, there's about half the number of ginties left in preservation, but there's nobody around saying, we should build more of these things. Now, compared to other engines like the... I said compared to twice. Over the first 2 years of production, the LMS only produced 10 of the tanks and 20 of the moguls. Forgot, sorry. The Great Western held a monopoly on South Wales minerals. Now, most of this was short-haul stuff from pit to port or pit to power station. Try that once more. The Great Western held a monopoly on... And we all know how annoying it can get when some people just don't stop banging on about how something is something... On February the 1st, 1946, Henry George Ivert became Chief Mechanical Engineer of the LMS, and one of his principal tasks was to come up with some lightweight replacements for the... Ow! The Great Western held a monopoly on South Wales minerals. Now those are the... Hell. On February the 1st, 1946, Henry George Ivert came... When the prototype appeared in 1910, it weighed in at a humongous 82.1 tonnes, with a coal capacity of 3 tonnes and a tractive effort of 31,450 pounds. Why, what's the matter with it?
That's me.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'm winning so far. So if you designed these things 50 years earlier, there would be no chance of a... When the prototype appeared in 1910, it weighed in at a humongous 82.1 tonnes, with a coal capacity of 3 tonnes and a tractive effort of... What? Coal capacity of... Sound like Captain Mainwaring when he's swearing. Now, other locomotives like the Standard 4s and the Ivert 2s could easily do the work of these engines, but because they're... I keep forgetting that bit, because they're what? You can rest for a little bit if you like. When the prototype appeared in 1910, it weighed in at a humongous 82... What?
Go back. I messed up. Not my fault.
Still winning. When railway enthusiasts think of the BR standard range, they normally tend to think of the Britannias and the 9Fs, and then disregard... Now, other locomotives, like the Standard 4s and the Ivert 2s, could do... bugger. Could do bugger. I'm sure they could do bugger. The obvious issue was for... Yeah, about me winning.
The obvious issue is up.
Okay. Ow. Now, there may have been bigger tank engines out there after these things, but in a world of Drummond M7s and Johnson 060s, these were the biggest mass-produced tank engines in the country. We got there.